Every day, every single moment, every quiet second that slips by, you're making a silent choice. It's a choice so subtle, most of us don't even realize we're making it. The choice is this: will your thoughts control you, or will you control your thoughts? It's a simple question, but the answer determines everything. You see, the path you walk in life, the journey you take, it doesn't start with your feet hitting the ground. It starts in your mind. Today's story isn't just a story. It's a powerful illustration of why mastering your thoughts is the same as mastering your future. Let's travel to a small village and meet a young boy named Dara. Now, Dara wasn't special in the way stories usually portray heroes. He wasn't born into wealth. He didn't possess any extraordinary gifts. And most importantly, he didn't believe he could ever be anything great. His mind was a loop, playing the same negative track day after day. He would tell himself, "I'm just not smart enough," or "my life is stuck. It won't get any better." And the most damaging thought of all, "people like me don't succeed. It's not for us." Because his mind was constantly walking down this dark, shadowed path, his life naturally followed suit. He never pushed himself. He didn't even try new things because he had already decided he would fail. He saw no reason to learn or grow because he believed he was incapable of it. So, he stayed exactly where he was, trapped not by circumstance, but by his own thinking. It wasn't a lack of talent that held him back. It was a profound lack of control over the one thing he truly owned. His thoughts. His potential was like a seed buried under a rock of his own creation. One evening, feeling the weight of his unchanging existence, Dara decided to visit an old, wise teacher who lived at the edge of the village. He sat before the teacher, his shoulders slumped, and asked a question that had been haunting him for years. Why does my life never change? Why am I always stuck in the same place? The teacher listened patiently, his gaze calm. He didn't offer a direct answer. Instead, he got up, filled a wooden bowl with water, and handed it to Dara. The water was murky, filled with dirt and sediment. The teacher then said, "If the water is dirty, you don't spend your time trying to fix the bowl. You clean the water." Dara looked down at the murky bowl, completely confused. What did this have to do with his life? Seeing the boy's puzzlement, the teacher continued, speaking softly but with immense clarity. "Your thoughts," he said, pointing to the cloudy water, "are the water. Your life," he tapped the wooden bowl, "is the bowl. Stop trying to change your life from the outside. Clean your thoughts, and your life will clear itself." In that very moment, something clicked inside Dara. A simple, profound truth hit him with the force of a revelation. The problem wasn't his life. It was the way he was thinking about his life. If he wanted to walk a different path, he first needed to forge different thoughts. The bowl wasn't broken. The water just needed to be purified. From that day forward, Dara embarked on a new journey, an internal one. He began the difficult but rewarding work of changing his mental habits. It wasn't easy at first. The old, negative thoughts were like well-worn paths in his mind. But he was determined. When the familiar voice in his head whispered, "You can't do this," he consciously answered back, "Let me at least try." When the thought arose, "You're not good enough," he countered it with, "I am learning and I am growing." And when the fear of failure crept in, with his mind screaming, "You will fail," he would take a deep breath and whisper to himself, "Every great success in history started with just one small step." It was a quiet battle, fought entirely within the landscape of his own mind. Slowly but surely, he began to win. He was taking the reins, gaining control. And a funny thing happened. The more control he gained over his thoughts, the clearer his path became. The fog of doubt and negativity started to lift. revealing possibilities he had never seen before. Weeks turned into months, and the change in Dara was remarkable. It wasn't a sudden, dramatic transformation, but a gradual, steady blossoming. His confidence grew, not from external praise, but from the internal victories he was winning every day. When he faced problems, he no longer saw them as insurmountable walls. He saw them as puzzles to be solved, and he approached them with a newfound sense of calm. He started setting small, achievable goals for himself, and he finished them. Each completed task, no matter how small, was another piece of evidence that his old thoughts were wrong. He started to believe in the promise of tomorrow instead of fearing it, and as his inner world changed, his outer world began to respond in kind. Opportunities started appearing, seemingly out of nowhere. People in the village noticed the change in him. They saw his quiet determination and began to trust him with more responsibilities. Doors that had once been firmly shut, or that he hadn't even noticed before, began to open. Why did all this happen? It wasn't magic. It was a simple principle in action. A controlled mind creates a clear path, and a clear path inevitably leads to progress. He was no longer walking in circles in the dark. He was moving forward, step by step, on a path illuminated from within. One bright morning, Dara returned to the old teacher. This time, his shoulders weren't slumped. He was standing tall, and a genuine smile lit up his face. He bowed respectfully and said, "Teacher, everything is changing. My life feels so different, so full of hope." The old teacher simply nodded, a warm, knowing look in his eyes. He said, "Your life didn't change first, Dara, your thoughts did. Remember the bowl and the water. You chose to clean the water. And when your thoughts change, your path always follows." This story holds a vital message for every single one of us. Your future isn't some pre-written destiny etched in the stars. It's not determined by luck, or even by raw talent, or the circumstances you were born into. It's written in the private, quiet space of your own mind. When you control your thoughts, you take back your power. You become the guide of your own steps. You become the architect of your own life. You are the one who creates your own path, because in the end, the greatest, most powerful freedom you will ever have is the freedom to choose your next thought. And that next thought, and the one after that, and the one after that. They are the building blocks of your destiny. Choose them well. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing for more content that helps you build a better path.